Dr. Bhojwani, are you here? Sir? Virendra sir, are you here? Am I audible, sir? Virendra sir, can we start? Virendra sir, are you here?
Yes, yes. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir, yes. Yes. Ritima, ma'am, I request you to open your camera. Yes.
Huh?
No, that's fine. Sir, we can start?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank to all the participants again. It is a matter of great privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed resource person for the day, Dr. Virendra K. Bhojwani, Director for Research and Development. Yes. Research and Development at MIT ADT University, Pune, for today's expert session on navigating research funding, opportunities, agencies, and strategy. Dr. Bhojwani is a distinguished academician, researcher, and research administrator with vast experience in promoting innovation, interdisciplinary research, and academic excellence. Through his leadership in the field of research and development, he has guided numerous faculty members, scholars, and institutions in identifying suitable funding opportunities and developing impactful research proposals. In today's rapidly evolving research ecosystem, obtaining research grants and understanding of funding mechanisms have become essential for transforming innovative ideas into meaningful outcomes. Dr. Bhojwani's expertise in research strategy, funding agencies, proposal development, and collaborative research initiatives makes this session highly valuable for all the researchers and academicians. We are confident that this session will provide participants with practical insights into national and international funding opportunities, proposal writing strategies, and effective approaches for building successful research projects. His guidance will undoubtedly inspire participants to strengthen their research vision and contribute more effectively to academic and societal development. On behalf of the Department of Civil Engineering, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, We extend a warm welcome to Dr. Virendra K. Bhojwani and express our sincere gratitude for sparing his valuable time to share his expertise with us. Sir, welcome to the meeting. The session is yours. Sir, you
Thank
can
you, sir.
start.
Just share my PowerPoint. Is my PowerPoint visible, sir? Slide is visible.
Yes.
So good morning, all. We'll be discussing on the research funding scenario in India and what are the funding agencies, where to apply for, and various schemes and important points that we should focus on while applying for the proposal and common mistakes that people do. So various agencies, as we know, ANRF was recently established, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, CSIR, and they are allocated different budgets and they run different funding schemes. So we'll be going through the funding landscape in India, major funding agencies, what are the various funding schemes under these agencies. Uh, we should be very careful. We should look at always read the eligibility criteria. See, your proposal may be very good, but you should thoroughly read the eligibility criteria, the age, the institution. Sometimes they say institution should be NRF ranking top 100. So whatever eligibility criteria should be first checked, and we have to make sure that we fit into that eligibility criteria before applying for that. Another important thing is there are funding slabs, like a proposal you can, that's the maximum funding that you can apply for. So if your budget uh, mentioned is more than the funding slab, uh, uh, in the screening stage itself, it will get rejected. Then how to write a strong proposal, common mistakes and strategies to make sure that the chances of this proposal getting sanctioned is high. So most of the funding schemes, if you see, they are from the central government, uh, almost 44%. Then there are private players who also have their own schemes. Then UGC, the CSIR, state governments also have some schemes where you can apply and get funding. And PSUs, DRDO, ISRO, they also fund various schemes. One of the important thing, and there are budget allocated to that. See, nowadays, what is more important is impact that the project will create, the usefulness to the society, and the TRL level, technology readiness level, plus the outcomes, how much manpower was trained during the project, uh, how many patents were granted, or commercialization of technology, technology transfer to the industry. So uh, these agencies are looking at these important things, that after you develop, you hand over the technology to some industry, whether you had filed a patent, whether some commercialization was done, how many manpower were trained, how many engineers, JRF, SRF were trained. So all these publications that are coming out of, so outcomes are very important. And if your outcomes are strong, that is what is expected when you write a grant. What do you expect from this project? So these are various budget. Now DBT has a budget of 3446 crore, and the budget is increasing based on the significance. They are increasing the allocation. Like life sciences, the allocation is always high. For health, research in health, research in cancer, research in medicines. So all that, the allocation is increasing. So chances of funding also is high in those domains. So now, they earlier there was DST. Now they have tried to bring all these central government under ANRF, which is called as Anusandhan National Research Foundation, established in 2023 via the ANRF Act. And the ministry which looks after administration of ANRF is the Ministry of Science and Technology. They have a dedicated website. Of course, yes, SERB is also on, Scientist Engineering Research Board, ANRF. These are two main websites where you can get the details of funding schemes. And each agency is given an annual target, and sometimes they also expect university or the industry to be a partner, and also some amount of money should come from the university or the industry. The focus areas: basic research, applied research, innovation in science and technology and engineering. Now this ANRF has become the single nodal body to fund R&D across India. It is like the even in US or Europe, they have this science foundation, National Science Foundation. So with they are the nodal agencies. On the similar background, India has created its own nodal agency, which is Anusandhan National Research Foundation. You can go on the website of ANRF. You can see various proposals that are available, and they also give the time. Some proposals are open round the year. Some proposals are open during March, April. So they give when the proposal is going to open and what is the last date for submission. Accordingly, you can start. You can choose the scheme based on your expertise. Based on it should align. Your proposal should align to the funding scheme, so that uh, chances of success are high. So you have to make sure that whatever is your domain of expertise and whatever is the expectation from the scheme, they are in alignment. Now, one of the two major agencies, DST, Department of Science and Technology, of course, which is now monitored by NRF, they promotes research in science and technology, uh, all domains. DBT manages, Department of Biotechnology, mostly the life sciences, biotech research, medicines, diseases. So they all fall under Department of Biotechnology. Each of them has a budget, and they have also included DST has included 20,000 crore for new research development and innovation scheme. DBT operates through BIRAC for biotech startups and innovations. These are various schemes under DST: Inspire, FIST, FIRST, WS, Technology Mission, and DBT, JRF, Ramalingam Swami Reentry Fellowship. They also give fellowships to researchers. Both of them have a dedicated website, DST and dbtindia.gov.in, where you can go and explore for various funding schemes. Other in the health and industrial research powerhouses, ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. So ICMR is one of the oldest and largest biomedical research organization. They operate intramural and extramural research programs. They fund for 11 priority disease conditions. I'm giving the highlights. You can go to their websites and you can go through various schemes that they run and eligibility criteria, what exactly they fund, which diseases they cover. They also provide fellowships and HRD grants for health researchers. CSIR is a scientific laboratory which has around 3,500 active scientists, 4350 scientists, eccentric personnel. Budget is 6657 crore. They fund in aerospace, chemicals, biotech, nanotechnology, genomics, pharmacy, and they have a website csir.res.in. So ANRF, DBT, ICMR, CSIR, other funding agencies are DRDO, ISRO, various ministries also have their funding schemes. Uh, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Ministry of Electronics, Agricultural Research, Ministry of Ayush, UGC, DRDO, ISRO. You can go on their websites and look at the various funding schemes. ISRO also has, space technology cells in various universities. Like they have a STC in Pune University, which funds various projects, and they have a call in once in a year where you can go and submit your proposals. So you have to be alert. You should know what are the various agencies what exactly they fund, what is the eligibility criteria. Uh, Read the document carefully. One of the basic important things is read the document carefully. What is the eligibility criteria? What is the maximum funding? And under funding, what are the different slabs, equipment, manpower, contingency, consumables, overheads, uh, and they give a cap. Equipment, let's say 30-40%, manpower 30-40%. So you should not exceed that budget cap. If your project is, let's say, 20 lakhs and 40% is for equipment, so your budget should not go beyond 8 lakhs. If the budget is not properly written, chances of your proposal getting rejected at the screening level is high. Also, when you give budget, make sure that you have supporting uh, quotations. Never say randomly 10 lakh for this equipment, because the person who's going to screen, the person who's going to review is an expert. He knows what is roughly the cost of this equipment because he's a domain expert. And you just say arbitrarily or randomly you put cost of a particular equipment as 10 lakhs and it may be of 2.5 lakhs. Your proposal may be very good, but because the budget is not realistic, your proposal will get rejected at the screening level. So first thing, you should know what are the various funding agencies. Second thing, what are the various funding schemes. Third, what is the eligibility? Go through the document, scheme document. Every scheme, they have a detailed document. Go through the fine print of that document, read it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, so that you will not make mistakes while submitting the proposal. Suppose there's a proposal which says that there should be an industry partner. Okay. So budget is one thing. You have to ensure eligibility. Suppose they say it should be a consortium. There should be an industry partner or more than one institute. And if you are alone submitting the proposal, immediately it will get rejected. So reading the scheme document is one of the very important and the starting point. Then, state governments have their own uh, funding schemes. There are private sources where also you can apply for Tata Trust, Infosys, Indo-US, Indo-French, Indo-German, Newton Baba Fund, Bill and Melinda Gates. There are various private players also who fund research in a particular domain. So the first thing you should list down what are the various agencies you should be able to identify. And nowadays, because of AI, because of any other sources, it's easy to. It's not that difficult to identify various funding schemes. So very first thing is knowing which are the various agencies, private, government, which fund the research. Second thing, after the agencies, what are the various funding schemes? Under those agencies will have 10 different funding schemes. So what are the various funding schemes? Third, what is the eligibility criteria? After doing this survey, you will know exactly which scheme fits your research area, research domain. So if it's a technology proposal, you cannot apply to DBT. You cannot apply aerospace proposal to ICMR because each scheme has a scope, a domain scope, and your proposal should fit into that scope. Then only uh, you are aligned to that scheme. For that, this survey is very important. What are the agencies? Second, what are the various funding schemes? Third, your proposal should align to that. Fourth, what is the eligibility criteria? What are the expectations from the proposal, outcomes, and uh, whether a consortium is required, whether any industry partner is required. Let's say you are doing in medical research. So you need somebody from the hospital, somebody from clinical background or psychiatrist or depending upon the requirement of funding, you will need a partner who will support your research. If there's a technical proposal, if you have an industry partner and who gives in writing that if this proposal is successful, we are ready to either further invest or buy this technology. So if they give such a declaration or certificate that we are interested in this technology, so government is basically very keen on proposals which are directly useful for industry or hospitals. Right, sir. So if you look under ANRF, there is core research grant, then matrix. I'm just giving some pointers. Like there's no upper budget. It covers equipment, manpower, consumables, travel. Duration is for 3 years for established researchers. So CRG is for who are already into research for last 15, 20 years. If a fresher applies for a core research grant, he will get a chance of him getting. So there are different schemes for freshers, new researchers. There are different schemes for uh, senior scientists. Expectations are different. Maybe from a fresher, not too much will be expected, but from a senior scientist, the expectations, outcomes would be more stronger. There's a startup research grant for early career researchers joining new institutions, 30 lakh plus overhead for 2 years, one-time grant, helps establish research before applying for CRG. There's a PM early career research grant, huh, up to age of 42 years. It aims to support young scientists establishing independent research. Then Matrix is for mathematical research. Uh, they give 2 lakhs per year plus overheads. I'll tell you what's the difference and where, if you're a new person, where you should apply. Now, CRG, they may give 5 crore, 15 crore, 20 crore, but you're not an established researcher. So if you apply for a CRG for research grant, uh, your proposal will outright get rejected because the screening, there is multiple level of screening, then there will be by experts, then they may call you for presentation. If it's a 15, 20 crore proposal, there may be 3 or 4 screenings, interviews. After that, that proposal, it's a very rigorous process. So a fresher scientist applying for a CRG, but if you go for a PM early career research grant, if you go for matrix, now normally for a 2 lakh per year, 5 or 6 lakhs, the level of screening is less. Of course, the proposal has to be strong, but it will not go through that rigorous screening as the CRG. So uh, that's the difference. So if you're a new researcher, you target for a 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 15 lakh. Don't go for a very high budget because government will not risk a 15, 20 crore fund on a newcomer, new researcher. Government will risk 5 lakh, 10 lakh on a new researcher. So again, quality of proposal is equally important. If you write a good proposal, very strong proposal, but you are a fresher researcher and you apply for a CRG, then chances of your proposal getting rejected is very high. If you write for metrics, if you're a new researcher and you write a very good proposal, chances of success is very high. So new people who are uh, fresh writing grants, don't target for very high grants. Target for 10 lakh, 15 lakh. What happens is you build your portfolio. Once you complete that 15 lakhs, DST notes that yes, he had done a 15 lakh project, completed within time. He has given the closure certificate. So many papers were published. So many manpower were trained. The technology was transferred. Depending upon the quality of the project, the closure, and the outcomes, then they will be confident next time funding you 25, 30 lakhs. This is how the confidence grows in a researcher. Once you do a 30 lakhs, again you do a technology transfer, you submit They hand over the technology to industry or some diseases, you have given some outcome which are very novel and breakthrough technologies which has helped to overcome certain diseases, curing diseases. So if you give high quality outcomes, then government next time will not hesitate from funding you 1 crore. So this is how you build your profile uh, in DST, in DBT, in ANRF. So start with small proposals, right? Quality proposals, uh, and make sure before submitting uh, that there's a plagiarism. If there's plagiarism, AI plagiarism, or your similarity is there, outright that project will get rejected. It's you have to ensure that your proposals are not plagiarized. And the plagiarism should be less than 10%. That is a standard expectation from a research paper, from a thesis, from any proposal. 5-7% plagiarism, no AI plagiarism. So you have to do a strategy. Start with small proposals. Start with conference grants, which are easy to target and easy to achieve. Rather than targeting a CRG as a first proposal, you will only get disheartened. It's more like a Q1 paper. A fresh researcher, if he tries to submit a paper in Q1, uh, chances of him getting rejected is very high. But then he will get comments, then he has to work on those comments and resubmit. Again it will get rejected, again he will get comments, he has to rework on those comments and resubmit. Same way, if your proposal gets rejected, you should ask for reviewer comments on what basis the proposal was submitted, what is the expected improvement, so that next time when you submit, your proposal is in a better chance to go to the next level. So you should, whether it's a publication, whether it's a research proposal, try to get the comments from the agency. What were the pointers on which the proposal was rejected, so that next time you work on those and you make a better and stronger proposal. So ANRF, these are various funding schemes, and make sure you are thorough. You are thorough with funding agencies. You are thorough with funding schemes before you take the next step of you are thorough with the document scheme document where eligibility everything is mentioned before you start writing a proposal. And if the 31st March is the deadline, make sure that you start working somewhere December, January, 3-4 months. You get the inputs from the experts, get their points, and then you can you are in a position to submit it in within time. Then there are fellowships, national postdoctoral fellowships, 2 year PD fellowships, PhD within 2 years, and they pay around 58,000 per month. Teachers Association for Research Excellence, promoting opportunities for women in research. Now there are for women special schemes are there where only women scientists are allowed to submit. Uh, Equipment for emerging and excel quality research, EMEQ, imprint impacting research innovation technology, which is for transnational research with industry co-founding. So you need an industry partner. EMEQ for equipment only proposals with no manpower cost. So EMEQ is only for equipment. See, that is what that's the highlight. So you cannot ask for manpower cost in EMEQ. Normally, manpower is part of any proposal. Reason being, on the high-end technologies, on the high-end research, we should have people who are trained and you can take them further. If you get a proposal on fuel cells, government would expect that you also generate 10-15 people who know how to work on fuel cells, which is creating manpower for tomorrow. They will work in the industry, they will develop their own startups, uh, which is useful because nobody teaches fuel cells in the classrooms, in the colleges. So for these high-end technologies, uh, there should be people who can go make their hands dirty, and who get expert in these domains, and then uh, either they join industry, they start their own company, but then you are creating people who are domain experts. That is the reason manpower is a very very crucial, and most of the proposals they support having manpower. So, Inspire is there, innovation in science, pursuit for inspired research, very good scholarships for PhD, faculty fellowships, 80,000 per month for faculty. FIST for improving the science and technology infrastructure. This is for lab infrastructure grants for colleges, universities. It can go up to 2 crores. First, promotion of university research and scientific excellence, which are grants to. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are
Yes,
audible.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
request the participant to please switch off their mic.
So for block grants to universities with strong research output, WOS is for women scientists, which promotes women researchers re-entering science. They give up to 30 lakhs. Some schemes, if the funding is not large, the screening and scrutiny will be less. So your quality proposal uh, getting funded chance is very high. RDI scheme is for research development and innovation, where they have laid a 20,000 crore scheme for national missions plus industry R&D. So you see, this covers all freshers. They will give some grants for freshers. They will give grants for the people doing PhD, postdoc, fellowship, scholarship. Also for high-end technologies like semiconductor, AI, missions, where they will fund 5 crore, 20 crore. So they want people to get trained. So there are schemes for fellowships, freshers, and there are high-end technology domain specific grants also, where they will need really expert people, very strong background, very strong profile. uh, they should have publications in that domain, patents in that domain. They should have already done some POC, proof of concept, some technology transfer. So a person who has done a technology transfer, POC, TRL level 4, TRL level 5, and already 8, 10 Q1 publications in that domain, very high citations, and specific to that domain which they are applying for. So when they look for high-end technology, they will want a PI who has a very strong technical alignment. How they will judge that? Based on the Q1 publications, based on patents, based on technology transfers, based on industrial consultancy. So the PI resume, they ask for a PI resume. So when you are going for very technology specific proposals, the PI resume should be strong, very strong, aligned, and should be an indicator he is the right person to handle this project. How they will indicate? Because you'll be asked to attach the list of publications. You'll be asked for any awards, any technology transfer, patents, how much consultancy he has generated from the industry. So there will be pointers, uh, and how many projects handled in the past, funded projects. So the PI CV should be very strong when they are going for technical proposals. Okay. So ANRF has place for everybody: fresh researchers, PDF, PhDs, fellowships, uh, women scientists, and high-end technology. They cover all spectrum. For that, we have to study, we have to understand the agencies, we have to understand the schemes, we have to understand uh, expectations from the funding schemes, the eligibility, what they exactly expect. It's like a literature survey. Once you do that literature survey thoroughly, you will exactly know where you fit in. Once you know where you fit in, you will be more confident in applying those proposals. Even it gets rejected, ask for the comments for rejection so that you can work when you submit the next proposal. Now you see there are DBT as a JRF where they pay 37,000 per month plus HRA. Ramalinga Swami re-entry fellowship for scientists returning from abroad. They pay 1 lakh per month. People who are ready to come back and do research. IYBA Innovative Young Biotechnologies Award grant of 35,000. These are all like fellowships. You prove your credentials and you will get these fellowships. Then big grants, 50 lakh to 5 crore for transnational R&D. Byrex Sparsh IP development grants for biotech innovations. They are specific, for their expectations are very specific. ICMR schemes, extramural, open competitive grants for health research up to 3 years duration. Task force, large multi-centric projects on priority disease areas. So task force, is, like Ebola is an outbreak now, Corona was there. So that time they will have task force, and they would like to overcome or find solutions or medicines which can overcome those diseases. So they will form a task force. There you will need scientists who are into it, from ICMR, from uh, AIM, AIMS. So you need people who are, really domain experts. They know that if you give a project to them, they will crack that project. Short-term studentship for MBBS students, 10,000 stipend. These are easier, stipend, fellowships, comparatively easier as compared to task force. Then SRF is senior research fellow. They will pay like 42,000. HRD schemes, fellowships for MBBS, MD pursuing PhDs, 83,000 to 96,000 per month. So look at the schemes. UGC schemes, they fund PhD scholars, 37,000 per month for first 2 years, 42,000 per month for the third and fourth year. Then minor major research projects for college or university faculty, faculty research promotion scheme for non-R1 institutions, national fellowship for SC students, PhD, uh, even for if you're from particular category, uh, uh, beyond open category. I think there are schemes by central government, by state government. Look at for those schemes. If you fall in that category, chances of you getting the funding is very high. So CSR, like UGC also gives fellowships, CSR also gives fellowship, 37,000 plus they give HRA, plus they give contingency. So if you have crossed the, what do you say, passed that CSR exam, if you have passed the UGC net set exam, they specifically say for JRF, SRF. And when they say that, you can apply for universities which are recognized by UGC. You can apply to those universities for PhD programs, and still you can get funding from UGC. You can get funding from CSIR fellowships. So you are doing PhD in a private university which is recognized by UGC. You can get UGC fellowship because that has 37,000 per month plus consumables plus contingency. CSIR RA research associateship for post PhD researchers, which is 58,000 per month. Extramural research grants for institutional collaborations. New Millennial Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. Uh, I'm just giving the schemes. Within 1.5 hours, you can go through these schemes and you can read the detailed scheme document, understand the eligibility criteria, what is expected, what domains are covered, what funding is given, what is the budget cap. Read those documents carefully before applying for that proposal. Otherwise, at the screening level, if it does not satisfy even one criteria, your proposal will be rejected at the screening level. Proposal will get rejected at the screening level. So knowing the scheme document is very important. Now, eligibility criteria is one of the important uh, point in any scheme document. Like they will say PhD in science and technology or MDMS. So they will say a particular educational qualification. Normally, PhD is expected for all the schemes. Normally, I'll say. Sometimes they'll say must be an Indian citizen, PIO, OCI working as regular employee at public funded institutes may apply with an Indian OPI. So a person of Indian origin can apply with the Indian as OPI. At most one major ANRF project allowed at a time. So you cannot apply for, uh, read the document. They'll say that one project at a time. Same proposal cannot be submitted to two schemes. You cannot, make a document and then submit the same research proposal to do two different schemes. That is also not allowed. If you get caught, they may debar the PI and no more funding for that person. So avoid putting the same proposal to two different schemes under ANRF. Normally, the faculty should be a regular academic research position. It should be a regular faculty uh, and not retiring. Somebody who's at the age of 58 and about to retire in 2 years will clearly mention. So you cannot apply. Uh, should be a regular faculty, not like ad hoc or visiting faculty. They cannot apply because if the PI leaves, university cannot run that project in absence of the PI. PI is a driver for the project. University is for administration because you cannot disburse the money to individuals account. The money is credited to the university account. University is accountable for managing those funds, but PI is the driver. So institution alone cannot do anything. They will need a strong PI to run that project. At the same time, the PI alone cannot, use the fund as he wishes. University has its own mechanisms to manage and monitor the funds. So age limits, like sometimes there will be no age limit for certain schemes. Sometimes they'll say less than 42 years, and there could be a relaxation of 3 years or 5 years for SC, ST, OBC, women, differently able candidates. You have to read the fine print. Uh, if you are 44 years, but if you fall into a certain category, then you are eligible to apply. So mostly all of the schemes, they give some relaxation for women candidates or SC, ST, OBC, differently able. So some relaxation in age is given. SRG applicants must have joined current institution within 2 years of application, must have more than 4 years of service remaining. So I said that they should not retire immediately. A person with a 59 years age, he cannot apply because if he's retiring next year, you cannot give funding to a person who may be an expert, globally renowned, but if he's about to retire next year, you cannot give a 4-year project to that person, 3-year project to that person. So the first column is the scheme, core research grant, CRG, SRG, metrics, PM grants, postdoctoral fellowships, inspire faculty, women scientists. Then the agency, which is responsible for managing that scheme, disbursing the fund. Who can apply? Regular scientists, early career, new joiners, active mathematicians, young researchers, post-PhD researchers, returning scientists who are coming back from foreign countries, women scientists, health researchers, PhD required. Sometimes say yes, particular scheme PhD may not be required. So you have to read the scheme document carefully. There could be age limit. Some proposals there is no age limit, but of course, retirement is the age limit. So at least 4 to 5 years service should be remaining before retirement. OPI, sometimes it is mandatory. You will require a COPI from the industry, from a domain. Sometimes COPI is not mandatory. So all these, all this is there in the funding scheme document. So when you write the proposal, make sure that none of the section violates any of the funding scheme requirements, eligibility, age, funding cap, whether you need a PI, co-PI, whether you want domain, industry partners, consortium, whatever is the requirement, right from age to whatever, all that is satisfied. If your proposal doesn't satisfy any, even a single criteria, 100% that proposal will get rejected at the screening level. The first thing screening is done to make sure that your proposal is aligned to the funding document. Level 1 screening by the DST office or ANRF office is to make sure that your proposal satisfies all the requirements of funding scheme document. Not even a single is violated. Then only you can expect that your proposal will go to the next level. Your proposal will go to the review level. After that, they will check for the depth, the technical content, novelty, So the screening level is the first level where you should be able to qualify. For that, all the criteria should be fulfilled. All the scheme document expectations criteria should be fulfilled. Now, each scheme will have a certain budget, like CRG 20 to 80 lakhs. If you are a new person, always target for the lower side of the budget. So even if they say 20 to 80 lakhs, if you are doing it first time, you put 20, 21 lakhs. Look at what is the lowest cap if it is there. Target 15 lakh, 20 lakh. So the number of screening, if a proposal is 1 crore, it will go through a 3 screening. Screening, then review, then interview, then video. They will call for a video clip, then interview. If it's a like 15, 20 lakhs, maybe only screening and review. So they may not call you for interview or one-to-one interaction. It all depends. Yeah? So if you're a new in the domain, target for the lower band of the budget. If you're a domain expert and you have already successfully completed number of projects in past, and you don't need to bother, you can target the maximum budget. SRG up to 30 lakhs, duration is 2 years. Again, duration, if they say 2 years, 2 years. Don't make it 3 years. If they say 3 years, you do it in 3 years. Don't make it 4 or 5 years. And look at the heads: equipment, manpower, consumables, travel, contingency, overheads, and there's a cap. Equipment, they'll say 40%, manpower, they'll say 40%, consumables 10%, travel. They will have some total budget percentage. Accordingly, you have to allocate the budget. You cannot say 80% of for equipment, manpower, 40%. You cannot do like that. So whatever budget cap within the total grant. So writing a 20 lakhs proposal, equipment has 40%. So your equipment cost should not go beyond 8 lakhs. That's why reading that scheme document is very, very, very important. So NPDF is like stipend plus HRA plus contingency plus medical. And getting these smaller grants is comparatively easier. Government wants to promote research. At the same time, they want a scrutiny on the high-end projects that they deliver. They want to create manpower, so there are lower grade proposals with less screening, low budgets, just to promote research. But somewhere they also expect a push to the technology. So you are creating a manpower at the bottom who will over a period of time move up and will be able to, somebody who has backed a 10 lakh, after 5 years, he will be writing a 1 crore proposal. Okay. So when you write a 1 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore proposals, the expectations are very clear and the deliverables are very clear. So DBT JRF 37,000 per month, plus annual contingency of 20,000 per fellow. So budget heads, the non-recurring, recurring. Non-recurring means once you buy equipment, again you don't have that cost to add. You buy equipments, instruments, computers, 50% non-recurring share by national labs if greater than 8, says 40 to 50%. So non-recurring is once you buy, that's the cost. But suppose it's a license. You have to pay the license fees every year. So that is recurring. Salaries, JRF, SRF, project assistant salaries, stipends, manpower, recurring. Every month you have to pay. Okay? Every month you have to pay. So consumables like chemicals, reagents, stationaries or glassware, lab supplies, printers, cartridges, not printers, cartridges. They are consumables, software licenses, if consumable. If the proposal is being written by a national laboratory, like a DRDO, so 50% of non-recurring cost should come from the national laboratory, because national laboratories also are funded by government only. Then the fourth is travel. You may have to attend conferences, you may have to do meets, you may have to meet industry partners, field visits, data collection. It is like 3 lakhs per year. Again, that is clearly mentioned. You can also travel for international conferences subjected to the caps, subjected to the budget cap. Overhead is paid to the host institution, like 20 or 30% of the total grant. So you write a 30 lakhs proposal. So 6 to 9 lakhs will be paid to the institution. Out of the 30 lakhs, 6 to 9 lakhs will be paid to the institution. Why? Because institution is giving the space, laboratory, electricity, admin, water, uh, the basic infrastructure. Certain schemes there may not be a overhead, like a fellowship scheme. Fellowship, you are not developing any laboratory. You don't need the electricity or so. In fellowship schemes, there are no overheads. Typically, where there is equipment and manpower, other things, so there will be overhead. But postdoctoral fellowships or this PhD stipends, there will be no overheads. So these are budget heads, non-recurring, recurring, consumables, travel, the standard across all schemes. These are the standard budget heads. And there will be standard budget caps. So writing budget is also very key. Sometimes they will only look at your budget and they will reject the proposal. So budget should be very logical and not inflated. You have to list down what are the equipments you want to buy. You may also have supporting of get the quotations of the equipment before actually you know writing the equipment cost, because they know a particular equipment, what is the cost of that equipment. If you fudge that data, if you a 2 lakh equipment, you say 8 lakh rupees, so your proposal will get rejected. You have to be very realistic when writing the budgets. Don't give any room for them to suspect that you are not an experienced person making such mistakes. Okay, so just a quick recap. We started with index, how the funding is done by central government, the private sector, higher education, state governments, public sector. Then major fund, ANRF is the major funding established in 2023. Then we spoke about DST, Department of Biotechnology. Each of them, the objectives are different. DST funds the science and technology, and DBT funds because life sciences research is also very important. Diseases and life sciences and plants and whatnot. So substantial research goes into DBT. Then this is purely related to medical research. ICMR is purely related to medical research. DBT may be related to biotechnology equipments and more broad, but ICMR is focused on diseases. CSIR is again technology side. These are central laboratories. They fund in aerospace, chemical, biotech, nanotech. Then other agencies are UGC, DRDO, ISRO, Ayush, MITI. State government also has funding agencies. And now these are schemes. First we saw the agencies. Second is the schemes. So agencies are who support or who disburse the funding. Under these agencies, there are various funding schemes with different objectives. For research grant, again, no upper budget, duration 3 years for established researchers, not a new researcher, CRG. Startup research grant for early career researchers joining institution, 30 lakhs plus overheads for 2 years, one-time grant. If you get a SRG once, you cannot apply it for again. This is for startup. It's like a seed fund. Only once you are given. You cannot apply for that second time. Mathematical research impact, 2 lakhs per year, plus overheads, no manpower, no major equipment, simple 1-2 page proposal, duration 3 years. So you get 2 lakh per year for 3 years is like 6 lakhs. CRG could be 10 crore, then matrix for 6 lakhs. And accordingly, the scrutiny will change. PM early research grant. Then there are fellowships national postdoctoral fellowships, teacher associateship for research excellence. For women scientists, there are schemes for startup research grant, impact for translational research with industry co-funding. So in imprint, you will need industry co-funding. In imprint, you will need industry. So there are fellowships, there are large grants, there are equipment grants. In equipment grant, you cannot add manpower. SERB, sure, it's a startup research grant. Then Inspire for PhD plus fellowship, 80,000 per month for faculty. And FIST course. So these are different schemes. These are different schemes under various agencies. So first we spoke about the agencies. Then we spoke about the various funding schemes and what they offer. UGC is there, CSIR is there, they give fellowships, they also fund high-end research, they fund PhD scholars, they fund faculties. Then we should know the eligibility criteria, what should be the qualification, citizenship, institutional affiliation, age limit, service continuity, that whether PhD is required, whether there is an age limit, whether COPI is required or not required. All this is there. I have just compiled. All this is there in the funding scheme. That fine print has to be read at least 4 or 5 times before you start writing the proposal. Otherwise, you will make mistakes, resulting in your proposal getting rejected at the screening level. Then CRG is a budget cap. And what do they fund? Equipment, manpower, consumables, travel, contingency, overheads. NPDF, 30 lakhs. Then there are JRF, SRF fellowships. They will only give fellowship to PhD scholars. Under budget, non-recurring, recurring, consumables, travel, overheads. Non-recurring is mostly equipments. Recurring is manpower, salaries. Consumables is chemical, agents, stationery, everything goes under consumables. Travel for conferences, for meetings, for meeting industry partners out of station, or visiting other national laboratories, traveling abroad. And again, there's a cap. You cannot exceed that cap. Remember, once there's a cap to the budget, equipment if it is 8 lakh, there's no internal adjustment. क्या आपका अगर 10 लाख हो गया तो मैं मैन पावर से 2 लाख खींच लूंगा. मैं कंज्यूमेबल्स में एडजस्ट इंटरनल एडजस्टमेंट इज नॉट अलाउड unless it is approved by the agency. You cannot reallocate budgets कि कंज्यूमेबल का पैसा आपने इक्विपमेंट में यूज कर लिया या ट्रैवल का पैसा मैंने खर्चा नहीं किया तो मैं मैन पावर में डाल दूंगा. तो वो सब नहीं चलता है. तो there's a cap. That cap has to be respected. That cap has to be stringently followed. 8 lakhs. If you have spent 8 lakhs equipment, no further, not a 1 rupee you can spend on equipment after spending the full budget. For that head. Now, right now, you know the funding agencies, you know the funding schemes, you have read the document, you know the eligibility, what is expected. Now, what is there in the proposal? What is there in the winning proposal? That is the heart and soul of the proposal. Everything till now was exterior. So you should know the terms and conditions, objectives, eligibility, budget, and all that. But writing a strong proposal, your title should be clear indication of what do you expect. The title should be clear indication of what do you expect from this work. Now, it should click to the reviewer. Yes, this is what I would expect when I read the proposal. So title is the opening door to the proposal. The review of literature should be very critical. Look at the best papers, look at the recent till date papers. You cannot put papers 5 years back, 10 years back, because the technology has grown very fast in recent times. So you need papers till the day you submit that proposal till that day. These are very recent papers and high quality papers by renowned scientists, okay, who are known domain experts, what they have done. Your introduction should be what is the gap in the knowledge, why it matters, what problem you are focusing. Then you can zoom into your specific problem. Your introduction sets the context. Your introduction sets the context. Then you do a critical review of literature. Then the objective should be smart. What is smart? We'll discuss in the next slide. The objective should be smart. It should include testable hypothesis, match the objective to work plan. Don't overcommit. Don't say I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. Don't overcommit. Be very specific, and whatever is possible and novel and significant, you should mention that as objectives. Don't write something which is impossible to achieve. Then the methodology is how you will achieve these objectives. So your introduction title is the window or the door to the proposal. Introduction, it sets the context. Literature, you have thoroughly gone what is happening in the field, you know where the technology stands today. Then you write the gaps and you say that these are my objectives which are achievable. Now, after writing the objectives, what is the work plan? How you are going to achieve those objectives? What are the timelines, potential challenges, alternative approaches? How you are going to reach those objectives? What strategy you are going to use is the methodology. Is your work plan. You do a project, then you say that I want to achieve this. Then you do a detailed plan of how you are going to achieve those objectives. And budget justification, I spoke about it in detail. What are the different heads? Every line item should be justified. You should have quotations. Budget should be realistic, not inflated. Just to make a 30 lakh proposal, don't push everything to make it look like 30 lakh. Actually, somebody might do it in 5 or 10 lakhs. So your budget should be realistic, not inflated. And you show that you understand what are the equipment costs, because you should get at least 3-4 party quotations. Once you have that quotation, so that you will be 100% confident, yes, मैं 2 लाख लिख रहा हूँ, तो then it is 2 lakhs. It's not even 2 lakh 5,000. It is 2 lakhs. Overheads should be calculated correctly. Your budget should be, very carefully you should write the budgets. If you make mistakes, if you your budget caps are not as per the proposal requirements, your budget is inflated, equipment cost is inaccurate, and because budget is one of the important things, and your proposal will get rejected. Definitely it will get rejected. You have to take, what I am saying is you have to take care of these pointers. Then what do you expect? How much manpower from this project? How much manpower will be trained? Point number 7. What are the publications, patents, prototypes, technology transfer, alignment with the agency mission? So what do you expect from this? When you will complete, कितने लोग को आपने ट्रेन किया, आपका TRL लेवल कितना अचीव हुआ, POC आपने बनाया, पेटेंट्स, टेक्नोलॉजी कमर्शियलाइजेशन, क्या, what is possibility? Then very important is team profile. आपने जो भी अच्छा proposal लिखा है, attach publications which are aligned to this proposal. Your publications should be aligned. All quality elsewhere, Scopus, quartile 1 papers, which are aligned so that they will know, yes, he is the domain expert in that proposal, what he is asking for. नहीं तो आपका आपका प्रपोजल है रेफ्रिजरेशन में और आपने आपके सारे पब्लिकेशन है आईसी इंजिन में, तो वो बोलेंगे इसका तो डोमेन एक्सपर्टाइज है ही नहीं है, ना। मेंशन relevant publications, patents, awards, consultancy, add things, what you have done for industry or projects guided or earlier funding that you have handled. Okay. So everything, one thing is a strong proposal. Second thing is your profile fits with that proposal, so that they will have confidence that इसके shoulder पे अगर हम ये proposal हम grant करेंगे तो ये कर लेगा. He will be able to complete this project. These are some important pointers which we have to take care when writing a strong proposal. Now, this is a funnel approach. Start broad. General, why does this field matters to India? Site database, disease burden, economic impact. Literature review, what is the current state of knowledge? What is known? Key findings from global Indian studies, critical review, not just a list. Identify the gap. What is missing? Despite X, Y has not been studied. Be precise. This is the core of your proposal. So once you write the current state, what is that you can add to the existing knowledge and how it will be useful and impactful to the society, to the country. Then your research proposition. After you have proposed your gap, how will your study will fill this gap? State hypothesis, research questions upfront. Then your work plan is very important. How you plan to achieve those, fill those gaps, achieve those objectives. Your research methodology that you are going to deploy, plan that you are going to deploy to achieve these objectives, and justification, novelty. Why is your approach new? What is the contribution? Why now and why you? Why you based on your profile, your CV? Why now? How it's going to impact to the country? Now, whatever objectives that you write, they should be very specific, precise outcome, pinpointed. You cannot write vague objectives, measurable deliverables. If possible, write numbers, measurable deliverables. If possible, write numbers. Say, I will achieve this. Achievable, which is feasible within the resources and the time. So one thing is achievable, but within the time, 3 years, and relevant to the mission, aligned to the research gap and agency. This project should be relevant to the mission, time bound, clear timeline for each objective. So your project should have smart objectives. So any reviewer, if you know this masala is there, whatever we discuss, if it is there in your proposal, your chances of getting through the review process is very high. So be specific about your research design, experiments, observation. You include the sample size. If you have already done some research, maybe basic research, some POCs, you add in the proposal. Either some fundamental work is already done by you. You have developed some POC. Now you want to do level up. You want to increase the TRL level. So when you say that some proof of concept, some pilot study has done by you, it gives further confidence to the reviewer कि ये तो already इतना काम कर चुका है. So they will not have any doubt whether your proposal. I have seen proposals which are very strong, but the PI resume is very weak. Maybe he has taken somebody's help. Maybe somebody else has written on his behalf. Some industry partner has written. Proposal is very strong, but the PI is weak. So list specific tools, equipments, statistical methods, softwares, address alternate approaches for high risk objectives, write a timeline, quality controls, and if there are ethical approvals, if there are some, like some human subject is there, some human subjects are involved, you may require ethical approval. Some animals are there in the testing, specifically life sciences project, ethical approval will be required. Okay. If you forget to attach those approvals, your proposal may be very good, 99%, there is no problem, budget is good, your TI profile is strong, everything is there, but your ethical approval is not there. Gone. Because nowadays it's, more and more they are asking for ethical clearances based on the project requirement. If the animal subjects or human beings or kids or uh, they are involved as a subject in the study. So we discussed agencies, we discussed schemes, we discussed eligibility, funding requirements, budget heads, what are the strong pointers for writing a successful proposal, what are the smart objectives. Now, what are the common mistakes that kill a good proposal? Weak novelty. The proposal doesn't convince कि this is something new. Already they think कि ये तो हो चुका है, इसमें नया क्या है? Whatever you are proposing is nothing new. Same old study. There's nothing new. There's no impact. अगर पहले हो चुका है, ऑलरेडी लोग कर रहे हैं, तो फिर आप क्यों इसमें 50 लाख डालना है, 1 करोड़ डालना है? तो that gets rejected. The literature survey is not adequate, not till the recent. If the literature survey fails to justify why this study needs to be done, a poor literature survey, then writing ambitious ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. कई बार रिव्यूअर को इम्प्रेस करने के चक्कर में हम लोग बोल देते हैं मैं ये भी करूंगा, मैं वो भी करूंगा, मैं वो भी करूंगा. एंड when you say smart objectives, what is achievable, what is measurable, what is specific, don't write too much. If you can achieve X, my suggestion is you write 0.8x, don't write 2x or 3x. If you can achieve X, you should write 0.8x. Then weak hypothesis. We have not written the gaps or objectives clearly. Hypothesis, what we are going to expect from this study. Hypothesis appears exploratory rather than hypothesis driven. So any weak link, be it hypothesis, be it objective, review, budget, novelty, the work plan is too vague. Suppose your literature review is good, your novelty is strong, your objectives are strong, your hypothesis is good, but how you are going to achieve those objectives if you are not clear with that? Methods described are too general without specific protocols, no statistical plan, no sample size, no risk mitigation strategy. Sixth important point is non-compliance with the guidelines. We have discussed this. Page limit violations, wrong formatting, missing mandatory sections, exceeding word counts, budget, eligibility criteria. At screening itself, it will get rejected. So whatever guidelines are mentioned in the scheme document, that has to be followed. If you follow the guidelines in the scheme document, your level 1 screening, 99.99% you will go through the level 1 screening, then it will go to the reviewer. Like in publications, you have the editors, then technical, then it goes to reviewer. So at editor's desk itself, many times they will reject it. Your paper scope is not matching to the journal scope. It is not as per the requirement. Then it will get rejected. So whatever is mentioned in the scheme document, please try to follow that. Unrealistic budget is inflated, or sometimes it is underestimated. So the equipment cost is 8 lakhs, but you are saying 2 lakhs. So both way it is wrong. So your budget should be realistic. It should not be inflated. It should not be underestimated. Both ways it is wrong. Every item must be justified. It should be supported by quotations with current market rates. Then only, because People who are in the reviewer day in day out, they are managing the projects. They know equipment cost. They know all. They are from that domain. Huh? They have managed 15, 20, 30, 50 crore projects. So they are aware of cost is the किसी दुकानदार को जैसे हम पूछेंगे चीनी का भाव दाल का भाव उसको मालूम रहता है. तो रिव्यूअर को मालूम है कॉस्ट क्या है, आइटम्स की कॉस्ट क्या है, बजट क्या है. उधर आप अगर चूके तो चांसेस ऑफ immediately it will get outright rejected. Weak PI track record. जो भी आपने प्रपोजल लिखा है उसके रिलेटेड पब्लिकेशन, पेटेंट, प्रायर ग्रांट, स्टूडेंट स्टेंज, कंसल्टेंसी, प्रोजेक्ट्स फंडेड, प्रोजेक्ट्स हैंडल्ड, रिव्यूअर्स इवैल्यूएट पीआई कैपेबिलिटी एज मच एज द साइंस. आपका प्रपोजल पूरा अच्छा है, लेकिन जो पीआई हु वुड बी द ड्राइवर ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट, उसका ही अगर रिकॉर्ड खराब है, मतलब खराब का मतलब वो प्रोजेक्ट को वो अलाइन नहीं होता है. अगर आपने एक्स डोमेन में प्रपोजल लिखा है और वो वाई डोमेन का एक्सपर्ट है, तो ही में भी एक्सपर्ट, उसका बहुत बड़ा साइंटिस्ट होगा वाई डोमेन में, लेकिन प्रपोजल एक्स डोमेन का है तो वो रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा. इग्नोरिंग एथिक्स एंड रेगुलेटरी अप्रूवल्स. Proposals involving human subjects, animals, hazardous materials without mentioning IEC, Institutional Ethics Committee, Biosafety Committee approvals are outright rejected. Dense text, no figures, no headings, all text, then reviewers will lose interest. So the proposal should look good. पूरा text paragraph, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Again, use headings, use short paragraphs, use visuals. नॉर्मली बहुत सारा टेक्स्ट जो है ना वो बोर कर देता है. वो रिव्यूअर का जो स्क्रीनिंग करता है उसका इंटरेस्ट लूज हो जाता है. Then 11th is contradiction within the proposal. Objectives don't match the methods. There is a confusion. आपने ऑब्जेक्टिव एक बोला है लेकिन आपका मेथड प्लान, वर्क प्लान कुछ और अगर इंडिकेट कर रहा है. बजट डजंट मैच द वर्क प्लान. इंट्रोडक्टरी क्लेम्स कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट रिजल्ट साइटेड. पूरा बजट अगर पूरा प्रपोजल अलाइन नहीं है, आप इंट्रोडक्शन कुछ और बोल रहे हो, ऑब्जेक्टिव कुछ और है और आउटकम कुछ और है. होता है, हम लोग जब जब जो सोचते हैं हम लोग लिखते जाते हैं. तो हमने शुरू में जो ऑब्जेक्टिव में गैप्स में लिखा था, ऑब्जेक्टिव उससे मैच नहीं हो रहे. जो ऑब्जेक्टिव में लिखा था आउटकम उससे मैच नहीं हो रहे. वर्क प्लान जो है वो किसी से मैच नहीं हो रहा है. तो क्या होता है, वो अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में अगर प्रपोजल लिखा जाए तो वो सही. पूरा स्टार्ट टू एंड जो फ्लो जो है, जो आपका इंट्रोडक्शन है उससे कनेक्टेड लिटरेचर रिव्यू, लिटरेचर कनेक्टेड से लेके आपके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, हाइपोथेसिस, उससे कनेक्टेड ये आपका वर्क प्लान, उससे कनेक्टेड आपका आउटकम्स. ठीक है. और फिर स्ट्रॉन्ग पीआई प्रोफाइल, ये सब जब अलाइन होगा ना, देन इट मेक्स अ गुड रेसिपी फॉर अ सक्सेसफुल प्रपोजल. अंडर एस्टिमेटिंग लिमिटेशंस, फेलियर टू, देयर में बी सर्टन रिस्क. हमको मालूम होता है ना, कभी कभी होता है, हम एक काम करते हैं लेकिन हमको एक डर होता है कि यार ये ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो फेल हो जाएगा. तो देर आर सम रिस्क इन्वॉल्व. यू हैव टू एड्रेस दोज लिमिटेशंस, शो दैट यू हैव दैट कंटिजेंसी. कई बार कुछ रिसर्च करने जाते हैं बट यू आर नॉट एबल टू अचीव दोज ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. या डर रहता है कि अगर ये ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो हम नहीं वो अचीव नहीं कर पाएंगे. So what are your mitigation plans? What are your contingencies? So write down the underestimating limitations is also not good. Okay. So we spoke about a recipe for a strong proposal, the funnel. Then we spoke about smart objectives, common mistakes. So strategies to maximize the grant success. One, you read the scheme document carefully. Every scheme has specific formats, rules, budget, eligibility, consortium, industry partners. So non-compliance is instant screening may reject. So read the scheme document carefully before writing and submitting the proposal. Second, align with the agency mission. अगर ICMR का डिजीज डिटेक्शन या डिजीज क्योर पे है तो अलाइन विद दैट मिशन. वहां पे अगर आईसीएमआर में आप कुछ लाइफ साइंसेस का कुछ और कोई कोई इक्विपमेंट कुछ और प्रपोज कर रहे हो तो दे मे नॉट बी इंटरेस्टेड। आईसीएमआर का ऑब्जेक्टिव अलग है, डीबीटी का ऑब्जेक्टिव अलग है, एनआरएफ का अलग है, सीआरबी का अलग है, स्कीम स्कीम के भी ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अलग अलग होते हैं। टॉक टू कलीग्स, टॉक टू डोमेन एक्सपर्ट्स, गेट देयर इनपुट्स। ऑलरेडी जिनके प्रपोजल्स फंड हुए हैं, कभी भी जिन्होंने 3-4 प्रपोजल जिनके सक्सेस हैं, उनका आप गाइडेंस लीजिए। दे विल टेल यू व्हाट इज मिसिंग, वेयर यू नीड टू मेक दिस प्रपोजल स्ट्रॉन्ग। So peer feedback is also a good way to strengthen your proposal. Build your publication track record. अगर आपको मालूम है मेरे को इसी में फंडिंग अप्लाई करना है, तो आपके पब्लिकेशन, आपका पेटेंट, आपका सारा जर्नी है उससे अलाइंड होना चाहिए। अगर आप एक पेपर इस डोमेन में, दूसरा उस डोमेन में, तीसरा उस डोमेन में, चौथा उस डोमेन में, अगर ऐसे आपके पेपर्स हैं तो क्या होगा ना, वो रिव्यूअर को आप पे कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आएगा। रिव्यूअर विल नॉट बी very happy or confident कि you would be able to finish this project and achieve the outcomes. Take your time, give at least 3 months to write the proposal so that you don't make mistakes. All the mistakes are rectified. You get the inputs from peer. You ensure that the scheme document is carefully read. All the conditions are met in the proposal. Budget is proper. Get the budget verified. Make sure you have supporting quotations from right suppliers. Collaborate strategically. A good co-PI with complementary skills strengthen the proposal. Suppose you are writing a proposal on drone and you are from a mechanical background, you are from a civil background. You will need somebody from computers, somebody from electronics, somebody, depending upon the domain, you can have a co-PI and you have to write what the PI would be doing, what the co-PI would be doing, how they are going to contribute for the success of the project. So co-PI should be we should come with a complementary skills, not overlapping skills, not the same skills. उस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए जो स्किल्स, अगर मेडिकल का है तो आप हॉस्पिटल के किसी डॉक्टर को ले सकते हैं, किसी क्लिनिशियन को ले सकते हैं, कभी सेक्रेटरिस्ट की जरूरत है तो उसको ले सकते हैं, डिपेंडिंग। You are from university, you may require industry partners, industry co-PI, you may require other domain partners. Tell a compelling story. The best proposal should read like a logical narrative to define the problem, cap, the solution you propose, impact that it will create. पूरा एक स्टोरी टेलिंग जैसा प्रपोजल लिखिए, ताकि फिर क्या होगा, वो रीडर एक बार वो आपका प्रपोजल हाथ में ले तो उसको लगे ही ना कि मैं इसको छोड़ूं। वो फर्स्ट लाइन से लेके और लास्ट लाइन तक he should complete the whole proposal. Address reviewer concerns proactively. So you should anticipate what is the weakness, include the alternative strategy, show that you have thought what could go wrong, show preliminary data. अगर आपने कुछ पायलट प्रोजेक्ट किया है तो फिर आप वो बताओ, उससे क्या होगा ना, एक कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा कि आपने पायलट प्रोजेक्ट किया है, आपका पीओसी आपका रेडी है, यू हैव डन द ग्राउंड वर्क. इट गिव्स अ कॉन्फिडेंस टू द रिव्यूअर. If rejected, you request for the comments, you revise the proposal and resubmit. Many grants were funded on the second or third attempt. जो अपना रिसर्च पेपर भी होता है उसमें भी आपको रिजेक्ट हो जाता है, you get the comments and then you resubmit, it gets accepted. So this is the pre-submission checklist. Title and summary, proposal structure within specified limits, all mandatory sections included. Objectives are specific, measurable, time-bound. Hypothesis clearly stated and testable. Documentation, PI, co-PI, CVs, biodata up to date. List of publications aligned to the proposal. TOIs and impact factors included. Very high citations होंगे तो आप वो भी include कर सकते हैं. Institutional endorsement, approval signed by the HOI. एथिक्स कमेटी अप्रूवल, तो लुक एट डॉक्यूमेंट्स, कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट छूट गया तो वो स्क्रीनिंग में ही आपका प्रपोजल वापस आ जाएगा. बजट had justified with rates, equipment quotations uploaded, overhead correctly calculated, no unallowed heads. हाँ? अगर लैपटॉप परचेजिंग अलाउड नहीं है तो आप उसमें अगर बजट में लैपटॉप परचेजिंग बोलोगे तो वो नहीं चलेगा. हाँ? कोई लेबोरेटरी कंस्ट्रक्शन है, कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम, गाड़ी परचेज, लैपटॉप परचेज, तो जो तो वो पानी, वो जो सपोर्ट इंस्टीट्यूट में देना है वो इंस्टीट्यूट में देना है, वो आप एजेंसी से नहीं मांग सकते. टेक्निकल, पेज लिमिट, वर्ड लिमिट, font size, margin, line spacing, submitted through the correct online portal. Check proposal after PDF generated for formatting. सबमिट करने के पहले पीडीएफ जनरेट होता है, वो एक बार चेक कर लो. और डोंट सबमिट द प्रपोजल ऑन द लास्ट डे. योर प्रपोजल शुड बी रेडी एटलीस्ट 10 days बिफोर, ताकि यू हैव नो हरी. केयरफुली एक एक सेक्शन भरते हुए आप जाके उसको, यू हैव इनफ टाइम टू अपलोड द प्रपोजल. आजकल सारा ऑनलाइन होता है, कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. प्रपोजल उनके पोर्टल में लॉगिन क्रिएट करके ही अपलोड होते हैं, तो फिजिकली तो जाना नहीं पड़ता. थिंग्स आर सिंपलर. एथिक्स एंड कंप्लायंस, अगर ह्यूमन एनिमल स्टडीज है तो एथिकल कंप्लायंस. अगर आईपी एंड पेटेंट्स पॉसिबल हैं आपके प्रपोजल में से तो यू कैन मेंशन दैट. इफ देयर आर इंडस्ट्री पार्टनर्स, प्रपोजल्स विद इंडस्ट्री पार्टनर्स हैव हाई ट्रांसलेशनल वैल्यू, तो वहाँ पे मैंडेटरी होता है इंडस्ट्री पार्टनर होना. उस स्पेसिफिक डोमेन की इंडस्ट्री हो, नॉन इंडस्ट्री हो. ठीक है, आप अगर फिलिप्स का नाम डाल दोगे और उनका लेटर अगर होगा, आप टाटा मोटर्स का नाम डाल दोगे ना, अगर ब्रांड्स हैं आपके साथ में तो चांसेस आपके बढ़ जाते हैं. इंटरनेशनल कोलैबोरेशन अगर है इंडो यूएस, तो आपको एक पार्टनर यूएस का, एक इंडिया में से होता है, तो वो यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ दैट. प्रीवियस ग्रांट्स दैट यू हैव सक्सेसफुली कंप्लीटेड, यूटिलाइज, वो आप मेंशन कर सकते हो. कोई अवार्ड्स और रिकॉग्निशन आपको मिला है तो वो आप उसमें ऐड कर सकते हो. योर प्रपोजल शुड बी स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड अलाइंड टू व्हाट यू आर. दीज आर ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट्स for different agencies. You can get those online. This is my last slide. I think we have 2-3 minutes. This is my last slide. There are multiple agencies. A great research idea deserves a proposal that matches the quality. Plan early, write clearly, align to the agency, and always follow the guidelines, proposal guidelines. We spoke about agencies. Match scheme to your career stage, whether you want a core research grant or fellowship. Where are you currently and which grant matches your current profile? Eligibility varies for each scheme. Look at that. Budget varies for each scheme. There could be a matrix 6 lakh, or there could be a 5 lakh big grant of 5 crore. Strong proposals should have clear gap, testable hypothesis, smart objectives, feasible methods, honest budget. Common killers are vague objectives, poor novelty, guidelines, violations, weak CV of the PI. So success strategies, your preliminary data, you have done a pilot study, you have done a peer review, early start, iterative submission. So these are the key takeaways from today's session. So I have 2 more minutes. I think I have completed in the time slot I was given, 1.5 hours. Thank you, sir. This was my last slide.
Thank you so much, sir. Now the session, for the session, we will go to the question answers. If there is any query, you can directly ask that expert. And there are some questions in the chat box too.
Voice and slides were clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was pretty.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Are there any questions?
Sir, in chat box there are 3 questions.
Yes.
Yes,
See,
yes.
yeah, good question. Considering the increased use of AI tools and proposal, what is the ethical and effective way? See, these reviewers are very strong. You use AI tools, you write a very strong proposal, but your profile should match. Okay, you should have done some preliminary, your budget. AI tools will never give you that depth. You know, a person who has 10 years of experience in that domain, he writing a proposal and AI tool from various sources generating a proposal, it will never be, you cannot. And if you write a 5 crore proposal using AI tools, it will never get granted because there are many checks and balances. it will not be able to pass through that. Your budget, AI cannot tell you which equipment cost is what. Different suppliers, so budget it will not be there. Your brain has you can take help of the AI, but that AI proposal will also require your brain, your expertise, your profile, your publications, your pilot study. It can be used as a helping, supporting tool to strengthen, but it cannot be the primary method of submitting the proposal. It will never get funded.
Uh, uh, we have one more question, sir, from Dr. Vijay Sugyavanshi. You can see. Are you able to see the question, sir?
I can see Shilpa Deshpande, madam. How much time it will usually take to NRF? It depends on the scheme. Normally 3 to 6 months. Depend on funding. If you have put like a 10 crore may require a 6 to 8 months. Maybe a 5 lakh or 10 lakh proposal may get approved in 3 to 4 months, because level of screening, number of review. 5 lakh proposal may be only screening and review. If it's a 10 crore proposal, there may be 3 or 4 rounds of interview and cross questioning and queries, and they may call you personally, because it's a big grant. So depending on that, it may even require 1 year. So it all depends on the scheme, how fast they do, and the budget. Mostly the budget.
There's one more question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the presentation was okay?
Yes, sir. It was nice, sir. It was
Yes,
good.
sir.
So there's one more question, sir. As you mentioned, the CARE scheme is intended for college teachers associated with IITs and IISCs. May I know whether faculty members from private Tier 1 or Tier 2 institutions are also eligible to apply?
So there are schemes for everybody. There may be few, but there are schemes for everybody. We have that's why what I say is survey. Go to their websites. ANRF website is accessible to everybody. DST website is so they mention the scheme. They mention the document. Everything is there. You need to read, understand, and you can use AI tools for that. You can just say, "I am this teacher. What are the schemes for me?" So for filtering, AI tools should be used intelligently. Either you can go on the different websites and you can get those scheme documents, read that and understand that. If you want to make it easier, you use the AI tools and find what schemes. You give your profile. This is my profile, this is my publication, where do I fit in? So your AI tools can help you identify, but all this rigorous process after that has to be done by the PI.
From Mr. Praveen, you have raised your hand. Is there any question from your side?
Yes, sir. I have one question. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Sir, my question is, while preparing the proposal, we add a section of budget. So, and for budget, we need to provide some supporting documents as well. And for that, we need some quotations. So while finding the quotation or while getting the quotation, we face some issues regarding agencies whom to contact with to get the quotations. So how to strategize that thing, sir?
So see, nowadays there are different suppliers for each equipment. There are many suppliers for each equipment. You can get those quotations, three-party quotations, and you will get a fair amount of what is the cost of this equipment. See, every equipment there is supplier. I can't point out what equipment, what is the supplier. That is for the expert. If you are from bioengineering, the suppliers will be different. If you are for a mechanical, suppliers will be different. So you have to look for that search you can do online. You can connect with them through email, through websites. You can get their quotations. So that's a very tedious, I would not be able to answer for which equipment who is the supplier. I don't know whether I am right. That the PI, see, if you're a domain expert, you should be knowing what equipments are required and who are all the suppliers of that equipment. Even if you don't know, you can go to websites, get their quotations. Sometimes while filling the proposal, they may not ask for quotations. They may ask it for the next level. Sometimes they may ask to attach the quotations. So in the websites, there is provision. If they say any other information attached, you can attach the quotations to support your budget. That all has to be done very intelligently.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No, sir, we have one more question in the chat box. From Mr. Dinesh Ishwar. Can research funding budgets include expenditures related to training and capacity building?
So there are certain schemes for funding conferences, for workshops. There are under ANRF also up to 5 lakhs they give for workshops, capacity building. So there are schemes, sir. I'm not recollecting now, but I can say that. You go there, na, you will get funding schemes for training, workshops, conferences. They are available. They may not be used up to 5 lakh, up to sometimes 2 lakhs. So
Extension
research,
of the question. Research involves uncertainty, delays, etc. What are the possible implications if the research outcomes only partially meet the expectations of the funding agency?
it is research. Okay, so you have to be genuine. So if you meet any hurdles, many times the team, if it's a high budget grant, the team may come to your campus to see the outcome. Sometimes they will ask for 6 monthly report submission presentations. So if you genuinely say what are the hurdles, okay, and you have done all possible things, you have connected with domain experts, sought their guidance. After that also, if you meet failures, you can record the failure and the reason for that failure. Okay, and you have in the process you developed the POC, you developed the hardware, you did the testing, but you could not achieve the final target outcomes. So you can report and submit to them. Nobody is going to punish you or hang you for not achieving the. But your effort should be genuine. They should see yes, he has done on his part, and if possible, you should identify the reasons for failure and report them. If you are sincere and genuine, they accept that. This is my understanding and observation. So
Sir,
failures are part of research. Yes, sir.
yes, please. Sir, I have one question. Like for most of the government projects, faculty needs to have a regular. It needs to be regular faculty for being a PI. So, is that condition apply for a co-PI also, or a co-PI
So
can be a contractual faculty?
co-PI can be from the institute, co-PI can be from the industry, co-PI can be like if it's a medical project, he can be a doctor. So not, I think not necessary. He should be from he can be from outside
No,
also.
the thing is whether he should be a regular employee or a contractual employee would do. Thing that kind of contractual employee.
That again you have to look at the scheme document. But normally he should be complementary. One of the things. Many times what happens, I'll tell you that part of the money goes to the COPIA Institute. Like if it's a 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs will go to the COPIA Institute, 30 lakhs will come to the PI Institute because some project is being executed in the COPIA Institute. So there he will be required because if you are giving 20 lakhs to the COPIA Institute, then execution and there is some responsibility. In that case, COPIA has to be the regular faculty. But sometimes only his skills are involved, no funding is given. That time his affiliation will not matter. So again, for that, you should read the scheme document carefully. Whether there is any funding distribution between the PIs and co-PIs happening. Funding distribution means part of the money comes to the PI university, part of the money goes to the co-PI university. Part of the project is executed in the PI. If there are 3 partners, so the money will be divided into 3 universities, 3 institutes. Then in that case, the PI co-PI should be the regular employees. If they leave, तो फिर वो project तो भगवान भरोसे है, फिर who will execute that?
Yes.
So that is the problem.
So much, sir, for such an informative session. And I will ask all the participants whether there are any further queries. If yes, then you can go ahead, or otherwise you can conclude the session. Are there any further queries from the participant side? You can write in the chat box. You can ask directly. So many of the participants are asking for the PPT. For participants.
Yes, I will share.
So you can share it to me. I'll share it
Yes.
to the participants. Now, if there are no further queries, I'll conclude the session. I request Dr. Preeti Ramdhan ma'am to please give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Parvez Puram, sir. On behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, Dr. D.Y. Patel Institute of Technology, Pune, It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to our distinguished resource person, Dr. Virendra K. Bhujwani, Director of R&D, MIT, ADT University, Pune. Sir, your insightful session on navigating research funding agencies in India has truly illuminated the ways for the faculties to transform ideas into a good research proposal. Your clarity in explaining available funding scheme, agencies, eligibility criteria, budget allocation, anatomy of a strong research proposal, then crafting of objective methodology, problem statement, also common mistake done by the PI, co-PI, so that research proposal get rejected. So that has truly helped us to explore the available sources, opportunities for the further research. Sir, we are deeply grateful for your time, efforts, and expertise you have shared with us today. I hope your guidance will help many inspiring faculty in further research. I also extend my sincere thanks to our management, our respected head of the department, Dr. Ghanasham C. Sarode, and all participants for making this successful session. With this, I conclude today's session. Once again, sir, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you
Thank you
for.
all. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for the participants, the feedback form is already shared in the chat box. You can directly fill the feedback form. I request all the participants, please don't message for asking for the feedback form. The feedback form will only be given in the chat box of the